Good evening, traders, and welcome to Trading Wave weekly market analysis, where we'll be looking at what does the market has got for us in the coming week. Right, so before we get started, if you do wish to contact us, guys, you can just go to our YouTube page, which is Trading Waves. So you can just go there, especially on the weekly videos. You can just go there. If you go under it, you will find our contact details there, and also our social media pages that we have there. So those two numbers, you see that you find myself Sandile, or you're gonna find Victor, so you can reach us out via WhatsApp and also via Telegram as well. So we've got our trading view there, our website as well, which is www.trading-waves.com. Just in case if you want to contact us regarding any of our services, you can just chat to us there on the web page. The one that I'm referring to here, you can just come here and then chat to us. Yeah, if you do chat, if you do contact us here on this chat, you will get our response there. All right, so below that, you will find our social media pages. You can refer to those if you just want to see of any of our work that we do. We usually post them on our social media pages. All right, so I'm not going to be wasting your time. Let's get started and let's see what does the market has got for us in the coming week. We will be picking it up from where we left off last week again. So we're going to be starting with the DXY. So like I've said it, we are picking off from what we had last week here. So we are simply looking at this here, the DXY. We have been looking at this here to have dropped lower here, and we've been calling that this is our wave A here, and we've looked at this here to be our wave B, and the expectations for this one that it should drop here. Yes, last week the previous week we saw the DXY dropping to the downside here. But then I'm gonna zoom into this here because we just have to look at the alternative view as well that we might have. So we are looking for this one to drop lower here, per what we discussed last week. We wanna see this dropping here to be uh, 3 here, wave 4, wave 5 of our wave C. But obviously, we do have a possibility that this might not be done here. We might still have a structure like this, being a 3-wave move up here, this being a 3-wave move to our downside, only to find out that you're going to have this one here to be a 3-wave move to the upside here. Obviously, it can be a 3-3-5 structure here, this being your wave 1, your wave 2, your 3 here, your wave 4, or your wave 5. Alternatively, this might still even be deeper here, only to find out that this is going to be a 3-wave move here, but never goes all the way up, still give us this 3-wave move, and then we get this deeper correction here, and then that's when we get this 3-wave move here, and then the last leg is that this being a 3-wave move here, and then we get this one to be a W here, wave X, and this to be a wave Y. Obviously, if you have if it plays out this structure here, it won't have the right look because you want to see at least this leg here, the last leg at least being related to this one, even in terms of size. So that's why I say it's very likely that we might be seeing the DXY to be dropping all the way to the downside. But like I've said it, an alternative view will always be this one, that we get this one to come around these highs here, take these highs before we can get this one to drop to the down side. Right, so obviously the Euro US dollar, it is inversely correlated to the DXY. So for now, we have been looking at the Euro US dollar that it should be making a move to the upside. But then obviously, if we zoom into this, we can see here, if you zoom into this, that there is more of like a 3-wave structure is forming here. But we will look at that as an alternative view. So for now, we have been looking at the Euro US dollar that it has made this impulsively move to the upside here. We've looked at this has been to our connector here, and we have been looking at this being your wave A here as an impulsively move, obviously this being our wave 1 here, our wave 2. So we're going to be looking for a 5-wave move that should be completing the ABC structure. That's what we are looking at on the Euro US dollar as an alternative view, obviously, that we might have had this one being a 5-wave move to the upside, and then we simply have this one here to be a wave B here. Only to find out that this wave B is not done, we might still see this one trading lower here. Then we have this here as our wave A, wave B here, and these two give us this move to the upside here. So this must still be a fairly corrective structure that is building here. But for now, what I don't want us to miss here is for this move to the upside, so while we're still hoping that this is going to trade lower for this leg before a move to the up side. Like I've said it is an alternative view here. But then zooming into this, just to be more in detail here, you will see that the market has just given us what appears to be a 3-wave move. It could be just a 3-wave move in the making here. We get this one to drop a lower here. Or alternatively, this could have just been our wave 1 here. then this being our wave 2, then this might just still extend here and give us this move to the upside. Obviously that will be against this swing low, a take of this swing low here, then will be very likely that we are having this to be a flat corrective structure, and then we see that move to the upside. Like I've said it, you can always refer to the last week as weekly outlook, where we have been discussing almost the same possibilities there. Right, so pound US dollar, we have been looking at this one that it should still continue with the move to the upside. We've been looking at this one here to have been a three-wave move to the upside here, this being our W here, and then looking at this one to have completed this flat corrective structure here as our wave X. Now the expectation is this one here to continue with this move to the upside here. Now I guess the big question is what we talked about last week, that can we have this one being a structure like this in the middle here, this being an expanding flat corrective structure here, and then we have this one to give us this move to the upside here. It is very likely that we have that structure. So from last week we have been looking at that possibility that we might have had this one here. Might have been not a does not have a nice look here, but we are looking at this very likely being an expanding flat corrective structure, and then we get this one to make a move to the upside. So since we look at this, it has traded up here. I think this is almost about 200 pips, just this move alone here. We are still expecting to see a move to the upside on a pound US dollar. Obviously, an alternative view to this one here, because the market has given us this three-wave move structure here, you will find out that this is just being a move to a downside here. This being our wave A here, three-wave move to the upside, being our wave B here. Then we get a move that is going to be related to this one, and then the whole structure being an ABC here, before we can expect to see that big move to the upside. But it all goes back to what is expected on that DXY. Right, so your US dollar chief, we have been looking at this one to drop. Obviously, if you're expecting that the DXY drops to the downside, that will mean you are expecting that US dollar chief as well. It give us a drop to the downside again. So it looks like we've had this one being a move to the downside here. We're simply looking for this to be a three-wave move structure here. Five-wave move to a downside, this being our wave B here. So we're looking at this here to be a possible five-wave move to a downside before we can expect to see that move to the upside. So we could be having this one being our wave 1 here, and this being our wave 2, then we get this one to drop to the downside here. Obviously, if for whatever reason the DXY makes a move to the upside as an alternative view, obviously that will mean we are very likely to have this one being our wave A. Yep, this could just be a move to the upside, a move to the downside here, and then this could be a running flat. It does not have to go all the way up here to be an expanding flat, but then if it does, then it will be an expanding flat corrective structure. So an alternative view is that we might get this one to make a move to the upside here. But looking at the euro US dollar, it is almost there to complete that structure if it's going to be a flat corrective structure on the euro US dollar. It is almost there, whereas this one is still very lagging to get to around these highs here. So that's why I say if we get the euro US dollar to complete this three-wave move structure here, we are very likely that we're going to have US dollar chief on the other hand, giving us this to be a running flat corrective structure. Five-wave move to a downside, and then this becomes your flat corrective structure, or maybe a regular flat corrective structure, come around something like this here, and then we still get this one to trade a lower. But like I've said, that is just an alternative view. For now, I am favoring it against this swing high here. We should be seeing a US dollar chief to drop to the downside. But obviously, we can't run away from the possibility that this has been a three-wave move here. There's no doubt this could just be a three-wave move here. We get this one to make this move to the upside, especially if that's what's going to be the case with the DXY. Right, so your Audi US dollar here, nothing much here. This looks like it is ready to make a move to the upside. So we might have had this one to have been a move to the upside. Yes, somebody could be looking at this being a three-wave move to the upside here. A move here, and then maybe running flat in the middle here, and then this being your W here. So we've had this one to have traded lower here in what appears to be a three-wave move. Obviously an ABC with our wave C being shorter here. So we could be having this one being our wave X, and then this might be a start of a move to the upside. That is going to be a three-wave move like this here, something that is going to be related to this one to be our wave Y. So against this swing low here, if you're seeing a three-wave pullback, then that could be just an opportunity that you can take advantage for a move to the upside on the Audi US dollar. Obviously, you do not have to just go there and then click buy, simply click buy on this one here. You've got to have something that is going to let you know when this move is ready for a three-wave move pullback. We've got a special indicator that let us know that when do we expect to see the pullbacks, and then when do we expect to make the entry. So with that help of that special indicator that we use, then it helps us to see when this when is the pullback coming in here, and when is the pullback is finished, and then we can look to buy into this here. Obviously, it has made an impulsively move to the upside here, so it will be a very bit risky to just go there and buy this here, because you can't just come here buy into this here only to find out that it's time for this through a pullback here before we see a move to the upside. And most people, once they get this through a move pullback while in a trade, by the time when this makes a big move here, they will be just getting they will feel like they are getting released here, only to find out that they close a position here when the market is already making the initial move that we are looking for. So that's there's a beauty of having something else that will confirm as that will confirm to tell you when the market is ready to make a move to the upside. Your New Zealand US dollar picking up from the last week. We said we look at this here, you've got an impulsively move here, and this to be a simple three-wave move structure here. Textbook setup. We look at this one to make a move to the upside here. Now you gotta be careful with this one here. I want to see this making a move to the upside, obviously, yeah, but you can't run away from this. It has made a three-wave moves here, so it might not be a surprise to get this one more leg up, down here before we see a move to the upside. But if you are very familiar with the market, you will know that when it comes down to the correlation, if you're expecting that your New Zealand, your Audi US dollar make a move to the upside, or alternatively, Audi US dollar might say it's time for me to give you a pullback here, and then when we get this pullback, this might just give us a drop to the downside here, and then even take this swing lower here. When it's time to continue the move to the upside, that's when we get the initial move to the upside on the New Zealand US dollar. So you gotta be careful with this one here. This three-wave move could just be a three-wave move that is going to take us to the downside, or it extend to the upside here. So that's where that indicator will come in and give us a clear direction what to expect here. But overall, I'm not looking anything here except buying opportunities here. Even if this was to trade lower from here, give us this move here, we should eventually see that move to the upside that is going to be related to this move here on the New Zealand US dollar. US dollar CAD from last week, we spoke about this one here, that we are very likely to get this one to trade lower here. We're simply following this. If you've been following this on the weekly outlooks, you will see that we have been looking at this structure here that it should complete. Obviously, might be taking a bit longer here, but this is very expected here, that if you had this one to have been sharp as it is here, then this last leg is very likely that it is going to drag here. So we're still looking for this here to be a move to the downside. Once we get to around this area here, that's when we're going to be looking for this move to the upside here. If I'm not mistaken, I did mention to you that we might get to as far as your 130 here, 1.30 here. So if we can get to around that area, that will be the only time to start to look for a possibility of a move to the upside here. For now, every time you see this through a move pullback here on a US dollar CAD, look for this bearish move at least to get to around the equal legs of this here, and then from there, that's when we can look at the possibility of a move to the down to the up side rather. Your US dollar JPY, we have been looking at this one to have been an impulsively move. This looks like a textbook setup. Yes, impulsively move to a downside. You simply get this to be a three-way move corrective structure. Yeah, it might look as corrective as it is here, but very likely that we are going to see this drop here. So this is going to be a nice one. I think we're talking about above 1,000 pips a year. This drop to the downside. So do expect that this might give us something that will be above 1,000 pips here on the US dollar JPY. But obviously, you need to see some confirmation somewhere around this area here. It should always be nice to get at least an impulsively move. Once you start to see this through a move corrective structure, then you just keep on looking for these selling opportunities. At least we get to the equal legs of this move here. That's the only time we can start to look at the possibility of a move to the upside. But for now, we're simply looking for more bearish move to the downside on a US dollar yen. Your pound yen, like I did mention last week, that we're just looking for this year to continue the move to the upside. Your pound US dollar keep on making a move to the upside a year, so I would expect that pound based pairs, might not be all of them, but majority of the pound based pairs, they might just keep on crawling to the upside here because of what is happening with the pound US dollar. Pound yen, I think we were somewhere around here last week, here somewhere around this area here. We expected to see this move to the upside. Obviously, it has made a move to the upside. It would be nice if we can get this simply three-way move structure. You simply get those. You keep on buying pound to JPY to the up side here. Right, so your Euro JPY, we look at this one last week that we wanted to see this to drop lower here. Obviously, short-term view or medium-term view, we are expecting to see a move to the upside. No doubt about that. You can see from this that the market keeps on making these new highs. We're simply looking for this. This is very likely to be the structure here. We get this one to trade lower here. I wouldn't want to see this swing low being taken out. If you can get this one to give this three-wave move structure here, then you can simply look for that move to the upside. It's simply ABC structure here that we are looking for here, then we are going to be looking for that move to the upside. Obviously, if it does for whatever reason break up this swing high here, then we will be expecting that this will make this move. But it would be nice if we can get this one to give us a throw move structure before we see a move to the upside again. Your chief yen, which has got a positive correlation to your Euro JPY, we are expecting that the Euro JPY should make a move to the upside here. If you look at this, it has given us an impulsively move to the downside here, and we just got these three-wave moves here. Could it be that we get this one to make a move to the downside here before we see this move? It would make sense in terms of the Elliott wave structure. This being your wave A here, wave B, and then we get this one to be a wave C. Then from there, I would be expecting to see a continuation move to the upper side. Your CAD yen, obviously, this must still give us a move to the upside. Yes, just taking from the highs here, we've been simply looking at this one to have been a 5-wave move to the downside here. This being your 5-wave move. So this looks done. Now we are very likely that against this swing high here, we should still see a move to the downside. Yeah, obviously, your US dollar CAD still expected to complete this structure here. So I would expect when US dollar CAD is still dropping to the downside, you must still see this one more leg up here before we see a move to the downside. But eventually, once we start to get to see the US dollar carry is done starting to make a move to the upside, then that's when you can expect to see this big drop, which is going to be related to this one. It could just be your ABC structure for now that we are looking at on a CAD yen. So it's just a matter of confirmation here. You're having this make a move to the upside. Simply get an impulsively move from around these levels here. If you can get an impulsively move here, then it's to be time for this that you can start to look for that bearish move to the down side. New Zealand yen, I spoke about this one here that because of what is happening with your New Zealand US dollar expected to make a move to the upside, then we are very likely that this is going to continue the move to the upside again. I think if you can refer back to last week video, we spoke about this here that it could just be this leading diagonal here. This to have been a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 three-wave move to a downside here. We're expecting to see this continuation to the up side. Obviously, I do expect that there might be this here three-wave move to the upside here. Then this might still drop in something that is going to be related to this one here. It is a possibility in terms of structure. You just need to be careful with this one. I want to see this continuing with this move to the upside, but that is just an alternative view that we might get this one to give us this one more leg lower before a move to the upper side. Your Audi JPY spoke about this one here that we should see a continuation move to the upside here. So nothing much has changed except that three-wave move pullback that we are seeing around these levels here that could just be a buying opportunity to the upside here. Obviously, as an alternative view, you can look at this here to be the structure here, three-wave move. One could look at this here to be a three-wave move here, and then you still expect to see a three-wave move to a downside. This being your W, your wave X here, then you must still see something that is going to be three-wave move here that is related to this one here. But obviously, it would be nice if you can see something at least on your Aussie US dollar here and your New Zealand US dollar as well that could cause this drop. The reason why I bring those is because there's that positive correlation between those. I think it's because of the pairing with an Audi here or New Zealand yen with the New Zealand US dollar. I'll look at that. That's how I look at the correlation. All right, coming to the Euro pairs, Euro Audi. There's been a nice one here. We've had this one as a trade setup here. It has given us this three-wave move structure here. So we saw this one dropping to the downside here, three-wave move here, simply textbook a setup that we had here. It came out exactly into the blue box. I did not show you. I should have shown you how we've been expecting the markets, how we expected the markets to bed in the past few weeks. But this has been a trade setup that we had here for this bearish move to the downside. So we are still expecting that this should continue here. So we have been looking at this to have been an impulsively move to the upside here, and we want to see now this starting to give us a drop. What you need to be careful of here is that you can get this one here. So that's why you need to have something that is going to confirm. You need to be mindful. This might get around this area here, only to be a three-wave move, and then you start to see that move to the upside. That's just something that you need to be careful of on your Euro Audi. Other than that, we still want to see a more bearish move to the downside, just like on a Euro New Zealand here. We've spoken about this one here, that Euro Audi took made a dive to the down side. I've been talking to the members of this here that you might want to take advantage on this one here. Made an impulsively move to a downside here, a three-wave move corrective structure here with a very nice divergence. That was very almost obvious here that we are going to get this one to drop lower here. So we got this move again. We expected this three-wave move here, and we wanted to see this drop lower here. So if you are very well aware, based on the correlation, your Euro Audi has made this impulsively move here. So it's very likely that your Euro New Zealand is going to give us this impulsively move, at least something that is going to be related to this one here in terms of the move. But that's what I would love to see on your Euro New Zealand to continue with the bearish move to the down side. Obviously, we can't run away from this possibility that this is a three-wave move structure that we are seeing here. It could be just be a three-wave move to get this move here. That is just something that you need to be mindful of because it is just a nice Elliott wave move structure that can play out. But I want to see this one here giving us this drop all the way to the down side. Your Euro cat as mentioned last week that we are looking at this one here to be a five-wave move to the downside here after this impulsively move to the down upside here. So we could be having this one being a wave here. So it might be a time for the bigger correction here. Five-wave move to the downside that we are seeing here. It might be just a three-wave move pullback, and then we get this one to give us this five-wave move to our downside here, and then before we can see this one here move to the upside, this being your wave A, and then you get this one to be an ABC here that is completing this wave B here in a bigger degree, obviously here, before we can see a move to the upside that is going to be related to this one. So for this week, do expect a three-wave move pullback here that can take us back to around your 50% of this range. Through a pullback like this here, then we look for a short move to a downside on your Euro cat. Right, so your Euro chief spoke about this one last week that we are very likely. It would be nice if we can get this one to start to make a move to the upside. Obviously, you need to get some confirmation here. The reason why I bring this move to the upside is because if you look at this here, this looks like it has made a three-wave move here. This looks like a three-wave move to the downside that is very likely taking place here. So it might be nice if you can get this one to give us a three-wave move started like this here. This being your W here, your wave X here, this to be your wave Y. If that does happen, that will still mean that we are going to see Euro Chief to be giving us a very big move to the downside in a long term. As for your Euro Pound, like I did mention last week, that you gotta be careful here. This made a nice move here. Somebody could have just looked at this to be an ABC here. Like I've mentioned last week that if this being an ABC here, it should not come to around this swing low. It has done so. It has invalidated this here, this possibility of this structure. So we are very likely that this is still going to drop. I think I did mention that we could even have had this to be a three-wave move, here, and we still get this one to drop more lower here, at least to come back to, or at least to give us an equal leg to this here. Maybe that's when we can start to look for that move to the upside. But as for next week, a three-wave move pullback that you are seeing here, just look for this bearish move to our downside. And I think it will make sense because we are expecting that pound US dollar keep on making a move to the upside. Unless if pound US dollar says there's a three-wave move here, I'm gonna drop here, then that's when you can expect to see this three-wave move to the upside here. If that's the case, that might be a structure like this. A move to the downside here, three-wave move to the upside, three-wave move to the downside here. Then this might still give us a three-wave move to the upside like this. And then we have this as a structure before we can get a move that is going to be related to this one here. So that will be my approach on a euro pound. A throw move pullback. We look for more bearish move to our downside. Your pound pairs, pound RE, nice impulsively move that we are seeing here. Like I did mention last week that it might be time for a bigger pullback here. We've got this one to be in a three-wave move. You cannot even refer to this Trading Waves channel, our channel on YouTube, that we've been talking about the pound pairs. When we saw these big moves here, we said it might be time for the pound pairs to rally to the upside here. But now it might be time for these three-wave move pullbacks here. So it even might be something like this. Doesn't have to be this small. It can even be a double correction before we can see a continuation move to the upside. But all what I'm looking for here now is something that is going to be like a 50% of this three-wave move to the upside here. This being your W here. So I'm gonna be looking for the three-wave move as our wave X before we can even talk about the continuation move to the upper side. So as for last week, do expect to see this pullback here on the pound out. If you can get this one to give you a three-wave move pullback like this here, then we're going to be looking for the short move to a downside on the pound ori. Pound New Zealand, it has not made an impulsively move just like what we are seeing on a pound ori, but then in terms of a structure, they look the same here. So we look at this one to have been a three-wave move to the upside here. So it might be time for that three-wave move pullback before we can see a continuation move to the upside. Now, again, your pound RE has made an impulsively move here. You could look to take advantage on this one here. If you can get a clear three-wave move here, look for this bearish move to a downside that is going to be similar to what we've seen on your pound RE. Pound chief continuation move to the upside is what we are looking for here. Obviously, this does not have the right look that is going to make a move to the upside. It looks like we are still in this range. Yeah, it looks like this is still going to kept in this range for quite some time. Yeah, it might not be a surprise if you get this one. Yeah, make a move to the upside, drop here before we can see this move here. But obviously, we're going to respond to what the market is giving here, and we are going to be looking for that continuation move to the upside on your pound chief. What something that you just need to be mindful of here is this. This has made a three-wave move to the upside here. If you look at this here, three-wave move up, a connection here. So this could just be a three-wave move here. It might even be something like this, three-wave move up. And then we get this one to make a move to the upside here. This being your W here, your wave X here, this to be a wave Y. So that's why this range that I was talking about is coming from, because this is just coming up here very correctively. Unless, of course, if it is building something like a leading diagonal, or if it's too far to focus at that. If it's doing that there, then that's what the only thing that can cause this one to make a move to the up side. So, but you just have to be mindful here. This drop, three-wave move, no surprise if we see this move to the downside here before we can see that continuation move to the up side. As for your pound cat, still liking the idea for this one to drop more lower here. You can even refer to our YouTube channel where we released that short video about pound cat, this being a three-wave move starter here. Now that we've pulled back this like this, yeah, it's very likely that we are going to see this, just this being a W here, wave X here, this to be a wave Y. Then from there, that's when we can look for that move to the up side. So just look for something like this. Next week, one more leg lower here, you get that one more leg move to the up to the downside, then it might be time to look for a big move to the up side. As for the cross pairs, they are not interesting me, so I'm not going to waste your time and going through those. The one that could just be interesting here would be your Audi CAD and New Zealand CAD. So Audi CAD, we are seeing this move here. That is looks like to be playing out here. This has just given us what appears to be an impulsively move here. If it can make a move to the upside, break out of this here, three-wave move pullback that we're seeing here. I don't mean to look for this head. I know somebody would say, oh, this is a head and shoulder pattern here. It should be a coincidence that we get this one to be a head and shoulder pattern. But I'm looking at this here that is very likely get this move to the upside here, and then a through move pull back. That would be a confirmation that we might be ready for a move to the upside. Reason why I say this, because we've been having this here, this sequence of the lower lows, lower high, lower lows, lower high, lower lows, lower highs. If this can break above this here, then it will be getting rid of this lower low, lower high highs sequence. Then it might be time for a trend change, and then we can start to look for that possibility of a move to the up side. As for your New Zealand cat, this looks very nice here. It might be ready here. If you wanna see, you might even look at this. This is gonna be a chart of the week. Nice impulsively move to the upside. Textbook setup. Three-wave move lower here, a connector here, three-wave move to a downside here. It's just a simple W here, wave X here, wave Y. I believe that this is already done here. It might be time to look for this big move, which is going to be related to this one. This being your A here, wave B here, and then we'll be looking for a wave C. So you might want to just focus on this instrument for the next coming a few months for this big impulsively move that is expected there on New Zealand CAT. Right, so let's look at the commodity pairs. Gold, the idea still remain the same here on gold. I'll still love to see there giving us this move to the upside. Obviously, as much as I'm looking for this move to the upside here, remember that the past few weeks we have been looking at this one, this to be an expanding failed corrective structure here, something like this, and we are expecting to see a continuation. But bear in mind that we can have this one here to have been a five-wave move to the upside here, and it might be time for this bigger three-wave move pullback here. So this might just even be something like this, a move to the upside here, give us a drop to the downside, or even spend some time here, spend some time here before we can get this, and then this becomes your ABC here, your ABC before we can see that move to the upside. Obviously, that's an alternative view for now. I want to see this making a move to the upside from here on gold. Your silver, looking for the same here. So we have been looking at this one to be a 1 2 1 2 a year. Wow, wave one a year that has made this move to the upside a year. Wave two, sharp impulsively move here, and then this is where this 1 2 1 2 is coming here. So this being our wave one, wave two here, we're simply looking for this move to the upside. Unless, of course, just like gold, there's an alternative view. If we can have this one to be it won't be a 5 wave move here because this came to this territory here. So it's still supposed that this should make a move to the upside. Yeah, I was just looking at the possibility of this here, that we can have this one to say, I'm not done with the corrective structure here. I've made this 3 wave move here, this being a move to the upside, 3 wave move here, and it might be time for this one to drop here. Then this being your A, your wave B here, this being our wave C, then we start to see that move to the upside. That's only if we see that on gold, then that's when we can expect to see that structure as well on a silver. But for now, I favor that we still see more bullish move to the upside on a silver. As for platinum, same as what we are looking for on these other commodity pairs. Just from here, we've been looking at this to be an impulsively move to the upside here. So we're simply looking for this one to be a 3 wave move to the upside, to a downside. Yeah. 3 wave move to a downside, so I would be expecting that eventually this might even come. Swing failed this low here, and then it's time for this move to the upside. Yeah, so look out for that one. It might be a nice one to look into on your platinum. Brent crude oil, we are in this range here, but I still favor that we should be seeing more bearish move to a downside. You can even go as far as somewhere in our YouTube channel here, somewhere in March, yeah, we've been March to May. We have been talking about that Brent crude oil should drop to the downside. Uh, Something that is going to happen here with Brent crude oil. I might not know what is it for now, but something that is gonna drive this to drop more lower. And you've been singing that tune, like I've said, it's somewhere from these highs here. We've been calling the Brent crude oil should still drop to the downside. It might not be a surprise if you still see this one here giving us a drop to the downside here. So just looking at this here from these highs, recently we have been looking at this one to have been a move as an impulsively move to a downside here, a 3 wave move here. This being an expanding flat corrective structure here, this being your ABC, your ABC here. So we are looking at this, that it should still continue with this drop to the downside. Every time this give us a move to the upside here, we're simply looking for the move to the up side. As for the indices, can't say much. I've been singing this tune here for quite some time, that the indices very likely they go back to their all-time highs a year. Nasdaq, we're simply looking for this one here. 3 wave move pullback that we see, we're gonna be looking for that move to the up side. Um, uh, we had a very nice trade setup here on Nasdaq. Obviously, it has been very slow. Yeah. Let me see if I can show you this one. Yeah. Uh, okay, I'm gonna bring this one here. Well, so this is a trade setup that we've had a year, obviously, back then on Nasdaq. So we have been simply looking for this one a year to have been this nice 3 wave move. So that's why I say that we have been singing this tune that the indices will go back to their all-time high. This was a simple 3 wave move that we're looking for. Yeah, right into the blue box. This is where we got our entry here. We're simply looking for this move. We're still calling that this should still make a move to the upside here on your Nasdaq. So that's why I say still expecting to see more bullish move to the upside there on Nasdaq. Your Dow Jones will be the same here. We can't be wasting your time here, except that we are eventually seeing the all-time high taking place here as well. We've been looking at simply this year to have been this ABC here. Wave A, wave B, wave C. Nice impulsively move as our wave one here. 3 wave move pull back as our wave two. That went straight into the blue box here, and we've been looking for this move to the upside here. The recent one that we had was this 3 wave move here. We're simply looking for this continuation. We will get these indices to go back to their all-time highs. You will see that some of the indices have been to their all-time highs. Your S&P 500 will be the same here. We're simply looking for 3 wave pullback. You get a 3 wave move pullback here. You're simply looking for this to go back to the all-time high here. Well, that's what we are looking for on the indices here. It's the pity that we don't look at the stocks, but I personally do look at the stocks here. You will see that some of the stocks, those biggest ones, they are making a move to the upside. So that's why we are seeing these indices giving us those moves to the upside as well. Your DAX, this has been to the all-time high, back to the all-time high here. So we're simply looking for this three-wave move pullback. We just want to see a continuation move to the upside. So that's why I say your Dow Jones, S&P 500, and also Nasdaq, they will eventually hit the all-time high as well, because that's what we are seeing with your DAX and other indices as well. Your UK 100, we've been simply looking for this one to have been a three-wave move here. This been into the nice blue box here, three-wave move to a downside. We got this one pumping to the upside here. Now we are simply looking at this nice three-wave moves here against this swing low here. You can just go and take advantage of this here. You're gonna be looking for more bullish move to the upside on your UK 100. Your Nikki, I can't say much. We've been talking about this one here, that it is very likely that you will continue the move to the upside here until you see a three-wave move pull back. Then that's when the only time you can look for the move to the upside. Now zooming into this, you might just want to be careful with this one here. Might not be a surprise if we get this one here to be this three-wave move here. So be if you get this one here, that would be an opportunity that you can still join that rally to the upper side. As for Nifty, continuation move to the upside, but obviously it might be a time for a pullback here. Just to show you why do I say it might be a time for a pullback. So from these lows, this looks like a five-wave move to the upside here. This being a five-wave move here. So it might be time for a three-wave move pullback before we can see a continuation move to the upper side. Even when I say this is our wave 4 here, very likely go and look at this in the lower time frame. We could be having this one here to be a five-wave move here that is supporting that. Why should this give us a pullback here? Unless, of course, if this is just going to be a three-way move pullback against this swing low here, and then we see that continuation. But it looks like a three-way move pullback. It is coming. As for the cryptocurrencies, your Bitcoin, I can't say much. I've been talking about this structure here that Bitcoin is not yet ready for a move to the upside here. We are very likely that we get this structure here. I should have shown you again here on a Bitcoin how we have been able to spot this one, but we have been simply looking for this. Even last week, I showed you that this being a three-wave move, our connector here, we're simply looking for a three-wave move to a downside here. Now, I guess the big question is, what is going to happen around this area here? Are we getting this one to drop here, or alternatively, we might get Bitcoin to give us a move to the upside? That might be a structure like this here. This being a three-wave move to the downside here, and then this has made an impulsively move, no doubt about that. Now we have moved to a downside here. So this might come back above this here, take that high there before we can see this continuation move to the downside. Just around this part here, a simply WXY corrective structure will be fine before we can expect to see that big move to the upside on a Bitcoin. As for your Ethereum, obviously the same as Bitcoin here. Last week we did mention that this is not ready to make a move to the upside. We are very likely that we see this three-wave move. A three-wave move, our connector here, so it will still be nice to see this one at least to come back to around these lows here 1500. That's when we can talk about the possibility of a move to the up side. Obviously we do have some alternative views what could call these cryptocurrencies to go back to their old, not all, rather these lows here that you are seeing on the screen. So there is still that possibility that we can still have your Ethereum to go back and trade below the $800, but that's for another time. As for your Litecoin, this looks like it is still going to give us a move to the downside here, obviously against this swing low. I wouldn't want to see it passing this swing low here, but what is very likely to happen here in terms of the structure that we've had this one here, three-wave move to a downside here, three-wave move up. So we could be having this one to be a three-wave move to a downside, a simple WXY corrective structure that we might see here before we can start to see or expect more continuation move to the up side. That would be the same as well with your Ripple. Ripple, it might not be a surprise if we can get this one to give us a structure like this here, a move to a downside, three-way move here. This being a three-way move to upside here, this might still give us a three-way move, something like this. It would be nice being a WXY here. Hence, we are still expecting that your Bitcoin and your Ripple and your Ethereum still drop here. So this could just be a structure that I'm seeing on a Ripple that can play out as well before we can expect to see that move to the up side. All right, guys, from my side, that's all what I wanted to share with you. Please trade safe and responsible. I'm gonna see you guys next week if it's not going to be my colleague. Please do make sure if you love our content, please do press that like button. We do value your comments. You can leave your comments and also make sure that you've got that bell notification on so that every time when we release a video, you are notified. But the most important thing that you can do for us is to just subscribe to our YouTube channel. Cheers, everybody, and have a good one. Bye bye.